Well, weeks now after that deadly explosion at an apartment complex in Cleveland's Garden Valley.
We are here at the Rainbow Terrace apartments where the Garden Valley Fun Fest is taking place. Now, on June 23rd, an explosion and fire broke out here.
First of all, this is the very brief time off that all NFL players have, so there's no need to be in Cleveland right now.
When tragedy struck Rainbow Terrace, a quiet Cleveland neighborhood rocked by fire and explosion, the city needed a hero. Not a press release, not a politician, a presence. And while some ran to the microphones, one young man ran to the people. That man was Shedeur Sanders. While many were still counting down the days until training camp, Shedeur was already making plays, not with a football in his hand, but with compassion in his heart. Before we begin, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications, because what we're about to dive into is bigger than football. It's about leadership, it's about community, and it's about the fire that exposed more than just smoke in Cleveland. It exposed the truth about Shedeur Sanders.
When everything transpired, I was out of town, so I was like, nah, the first thing I do when I get back is definitely come to the community. I could tell everybody's vibe out here is down to earth.
He didn't wait for the cameras, he didn't ask for applause. In fact, he wasn't even in town when the explosion happened, but when he heard the news, he made one promise. First thing I do when I get back, I'm going straight to the community. And that's exactly what he did. But apparently, well, not everyone was clapping. Cleveland Browns beat reporter Mary Kay Cabot wasn't impressed. In fact, she took it upon herself to diminish Shedeur's response, brushing it off as unnecessary. There's no need to be in Cleveland right now, she said. Quarterbacks report on Friday. Think about that. A young QB voluntarily returning early from his only break in the NFL schedule. Not for training, but for tragedy relief. And somehow, that becomes a problem. Cabot didn't stop there. She called his actions irrelevant, claimed community work wasn't a quarterback's job, that helping fire victims wouldn't help him beat out Joe Flacco or Kenny Pickett or whoever's next in line. It was subtle, but transparent. Jealousy wears many masks. Sometimes it wears a press pass. Shedeur's response? Action, not argument. He didn't call out Mary Kay. He didn't log on to X, Threads, or TikTok. He laced up his shoes and showed up. Shedeur Sanders pulled together an entire relief event for the devastated families of Rainbow Terrace. An event where everything was free. Food, support, smiles, and most important, presence. He didn't just visit, he organized, he mobilized, he brought the city with him, including Cleveland Browns defensive tackle Shelby Harris, and even hometown boxer Montana Love. This wasn't a PR stunt, this wasn't a photo op, it was leadership in its purest form. It's bigger than football. That's the phrase Shedeur kept repeating throughout the event. And how could you argue with it? In just days, he helped organize food, donations, activities, and resources for families who had lost everything, and when the fire cooled and the cameras turned off, Shedeur was still there, holding kids, talking to residents, walking the streets, feeling the loss with them. And yet, Mary Kay Cabot was still stuck on Friday's reporting date. It begs the question as, what exactly does she want from Shedeur Sanders? Because if the answer isn't this, then she might be watching the wrong game. Montana Love said it best. Shedeur Sanders isn't just here for a photo op. He's here because he cares. He knows this community. He feels what we feel, and he always finds ways to give back. And that's the truth. Whether he's popping up at schools for surprise visits or jumping in to help families in crisis, Shedeur's not chasing clout. He's chasing impact. He's not performing. He's present. This is a young man who says he finds peace in Cleveland. A man who gets joy not from press conferences, but from hearing a kid scream, "That's my QB!" Mary Kay's agenda exposed. Let's not pretend this is the first time Mary Kay Cabot has taken issue with a young black quarterback stepping into a leadership role in Cleveland. There's a pattern here. Questioning motivation, downplaying action, undermining voice. It's as if the idea of Shedeur becoming the face of the city is just too uncomfortable for certain parts of the local media to stomach. But that discomfort, that resentment, that subtle tone that screams, "Know your place," that's what's being exposed. Not Shedeur's motives, hers. The community speaks, And they're not holding back. The residents of Rainbow Terrace didn't read a press release. They didn't wait for NFL Live. They felt it in real time. For many of the kids, it was the first time they'd smiled since the explosion. They ran, they laughed, they played, because Shedeur brought back the spirit of life. He reminded us that we matter, one mother said through tears. He made our pain feel seen, another resident added. He brought hope back, one of the fathers told reporters. This is the kind of presence you can't fake. You either have it or you don't, and Shedeur Sanders has it. While some quarterbacks are memorizing the playbook, Shedeur is out here writing a new one that doesn't just define leadership by touchdowns and stat lines, but by what you do when the lights are off. This is what separates stars from icons, and whether Mary Kay likes it or not, the Cleveland community already made their decision. Oh, Shedeur. The vibe here is so down to earth. You could see the energy shift when Shedeur spoke. His love for the city isn't just surface level. The vibe here is just real. The people are real. The positivity is real. I don't understand why more people don't want to experience this, he said. And that's the part the critics don't get. This isn't about headlines. It's about healing. Shedeur didn't just show up. He belonged. He looked at Cleveland not as a career stop, but as home. So why the hate? Why is Mary Kay, and others like her, so determined to question Shedeur's motives? Is it because he doesn't follow the traditional path? Is it because he's young, successful, confident, and unapologetically himself? Or is it because he's doing what many others haven't, connecting? Because in truth, Shedeur's ability to connect, not just with fans, but with pain, with tragedy, with real people, is what makes him more dangerous than any deep ball. He's changing the role of what a quarterback represents. And for those clinging to the old ways, that's terrifying. That's the motto Shedeur lives by. It's written on his heart, not a billboard. He doesn't just say it, he proves it over and over. He doesn't need your approval, Mary Kay. He has something better, respect, from the streets of Cleveland, from the fire victims, from the next generation. And no amount of criticism can erase that. You want to know the real scoreboard? It's not at First Energy Stadium. It's in the eyes of a child grinning from ear to ear, shouting, "That's my QB1." It's in the hugs exchanged between a teenager and the quarterback he never thought he'd meet. It's in the whispered thank yous from parents trying to rebuild their lives after fire took everything. It's in love. And no media narrative can overpower that. Shedeur Sanders isn't just building a career, he's building a legacy that goes beyond the field, beyond stats, beyond even wins. One that says, boss, when people are hurting, show up. When tragedy strikes, don't just talk, act. And when critics try to twist your story, it's just keep writing your truth. So ask yourself this, do we want our quarterbacks to be robotic stat machines? Or do we want them to be leaders, builders, connectors? Because if you ask Cleveland, and more importantly, Rainbow Terrace, they already made their pick, and his name is Shedeur Sanders. Now it's your turn. Do you think a Mary Kay Cabot crossed a line in her criticism of Shedeur? Is it time the media reevaluates how it talks about athletes doing good off the field? Or is Shedeur just doing what any true leader would? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you believe in community over clout, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and keep the conversation going. Because this is just the beginning.